Athens, 4th century, at the dawn of it. The entire Greek world is mired in war and corrupt politics. In these turbulent times, growing up, a young student witnesses his teacher being executed for holding beliefs contrary to those of in power. This forces him to realize that power, politics, and life in general cannot be kept apart from each other. This young man was Plato. Plato, who would go on to become one of the foremost and first Western great philosophers, and whose ideas will go on in history throughout the millennia. Hello, a very good afternoon. I am Somesh, a research scholar in the Department of Political Science, IGNOU, and with us today is Dr. D. Aanada, Associate Professor in the Department of Political Science. Today, we are going to discuss some of the ideas of the great philosopher Plato, and especially his ideas of justice. A very warm welcome, sir. Sir, so before we start understanding any philosopher, this becomes very important to talk about his life and his works so that we can understand it better. So what was it, the time of Plato or life of Plato, and what are his most important works?
Basically, it is very true. We have to understand the thinker from the context of his social and historical context. So any thinker, then only we can understand. Otherwise, we can actually evaluate actually from our point of time. So for this purpose only, we have to look at broadly. I don't go into the very details of this Plato's life, and the major events only I will discuss. Then we will directly go into our today's topic, Plato's theory of justice. So Plato was born in 427 BC in a Greek city-states, Athens. He was born. One of the first and foremost influence is on Plato is that the Socrates influence. He was one of the profound. Socrates has profoundly influenced this young Plato, because Socrates used to go here and there and roam here and there and call the people from different corners of the streets and everywhere, and used to enter into the discussions and debates. So like that, Plato also came to contact with the Socrates. When he came to contact with the Socrates, he started admiring him. He started admiring his debating skills. At the same time, he was very much profoundly influenced by his thinking process. At the same time, the method of questioning the things, questioning things. So when he was executed, as you told you in the introduction, he was very much disappointed. And because of that, actually, he started hating coming into this, even the monarchy also. Though he was one of the, comes from a very influential family, he abandoned the idea of entering into the politics also because of the death of his teacher. So based on that, because of that, he has roamed here and there in the many countries. After roaming in many countries in search of the truth, in exploring many things, and he has actually come back. After coming back, actually has started an academy called educational institution called Academy. There he spent majority of his lifetime. At the same time, he taught even for the Aristotle. He got his wonderful student Aristotle. So these are the basic things. Actually, basic influence on Plato is that the Socrates influence. That is one of the important things. So that context, actually, we have to understand the things.
तो हमने देखा कि प्लेटो अपने जीवन काल में अपने गुरु सुकरात से बहुत ज़्यादा प्रभावित था, और प्लेटो का जो समय था वो अपने एक इन्फ्लुएंशियल फैमिली से आता था. उसके बावजूद अपने समय की दशा को देखते हुए उसने एक तरह से उस समाज के प्रति उसके मन में एक तरह से व्यवस्था के प्रति उसके मन में एक नकारात्मक भाव उसके अंदर पैदा हो गया था, और उसी आधार पर उसने अपनी जो सिद्धांत हैं वो दिए हुए हैं. तो सर, नाउ मूविंग ऑन, Plato's theory of justice, that is the main point of discussion today. Like most of the philosophers, he also theorizes it into the nature of human beings. Like there is certain kind of nature of human beings. So what, according to Plato, are human beings like, and how he relates that nature to a just society or justice in general?
Basically, to understand the Plato's theory of justice, we have to look into those days context, actually, because justice is one of the prime principle or the prime concept in those days. Actually, entire Plato's Republic will be revolving around the justice only. So Otherwise, even this book itself also called as the treatise concerning the justice. So the major work of the Plato is the Republic. So this Republic, entire Republic, majority of the things will be dealing with the concept called justice only. So this justice, actually, to understand that, Plato sees an analogy between the human organism and social organism. So as a human organism, he sees that there are some certain characteristics of the human behavior. So these characteristics are nothing but, basically it divides into three categories. One is that reason, the another one is the spirit, and another one is the appetite. So reason is nothing but the quality of this rational thinking, logically thinking and coming to a logical conclusion. So that is one of the quality. Some other human beings will be representing the quality of the spirit. That is nothing but emotion. So they will be they are known to be a brave, and they can able to be a fight. They are fighters actually. So such kind of the spirit they have the things. So apart from that, other thing is that the appetite, the quality. This appetite quality is nothing but a desires for food, for biological desires. These are constitute the appetite. So this basically sees these three characteristics in the human beings. So in the human being, in the living organism, actually, the reason and spirit will be residing in the brain or the head. So this part of the human organism, the reason and spirit will be constituted actually. Then at the chest, the part, actually, the spirit will be there as per the Plato's thinking. Below from the diaphragm, actually, this appetite, the desires will be the food or for biological needs. All these things will be represented. So in human organism, all these things, there is a tremendous kind of division of labor is there among this human organism. The hands will be doing their own functions, their duties. They will never meddle up with any other functions. Like all the things will be very harmoniously, every organ will be functioning in a harmonious manner without meddling with other organs function. So like that, actually, Plato sees that the society also has to be, the state or social organism also has to be organized in such a harmonious manner, so that every person actually will be doing their duty without interfering into the anybody's duty. So they will be doing the things, whatever the station they are given, whatever the station they are posted, actually, they have to do their duty without having any disturbance, without meddling into others' duty, performing their duty, fulfilling their duty without doing any kind of disturbance, any kind of interference into others' duty. That is the basis for the Plato's notion of things. So Plato thinks that actually the state, the social organism also can be a kind of a living organism, so that this can be in a very harmonious manner. This society also can be organized, so that each section or each person actually will be doing his own duty. So if like a human organism, if they do a proper works without having interfering into other things, then there will be some kind of harmony will be there, then the society will be flourishing. So for that purpose, Plato says that there are, as I told you, that there are three characteristics. So three ways actually the human or the social organism, actually social organization, is divided into the other things. The people, those who will be representing the region, they are known for the logical thinking. So they will be the ruling class. They will be ruling. They will be doing the governance in the higher levels. In the governance, they will be doing the things. At the same time, the people who will be having that spirit quality, or who will be representing the spirit or the emotion, they will be constituting as a guardian class. They are the soldiers. They will be defending the nation. At the same time, the people who are representing the quality of appetite, their biological needs, they will be representing the biological needs and biological desires. So these people are constituting the majority of this society. This chunk will be at the lower ranks. They will be the artisan class. They are the farmers. They are the producing class. So that way, actually, Plato believes that those who are representing the region, they should be the rulers. Those who are representing the spirit, they are the guardian class. Those who are representing the appetite quality, they are the producers actually, artisans, farmers, workers, all these things. So they should not interfere into others' duty. Those who are artisans and workers and appetite class, they have to do their work. At the same time, those who are representing the spirit quality, they will be the guardian class, the soldiers. Those who are representing the region, they will be the highest level, the governance class. So this way, these three sections, the three classes, if they are doing their own duties without interfering with others' duties, then that is constitute the justice as conceived by the Plato. That is the the major basis for this Plato's theory actually.
Okay. तो हमने देखा कि प्लेटो समाज को एक मानवीय जीव की तरह देखता है कि मानव का जो जीव है, जैसे उसके मस्तिष्क है जिसको प्लेटो रीजन बोलता है, तो वो मस्तिष्क के जरिए उसको रूलिंग क्लास से, यानी कि जो शासन हम पे करेंगे उसमें विभाजित करता है. उसके बाद स्पिरिट है जिसे हम इच्छा कह सकते हैं या अपना उल्लास कह सकते हैं, उसको वो गार्डियन क्लास यानी कि संरक्षक वर्ग में रखता है, यानी कि जो हमारे देश की राज्य की रक्षा करेंगे जैसे सिपाही. और आखिरी जो है एपेटाइट यानी कि इच्छा हम उसको कह सकते हैं, वो उत्पादक वर्ग में प्लेटो उसे रखता है, वो उत्पादन के सारे कार्यों में करेंगे. प्लेटो के लिए ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण एक एनालॉजी है कि मानव शरीर और समाज एक तरह से है, क्योंकि वो चाहता है कि ये जो तीनों अलग अलग समाज के हिस्से हैं ये एक साथ बिल्कुल उसी शांतिपूर्ण और उसी कोऑपरेटिव तरीके से रहें, जो जैसे कि मानव शरीर के सभी अंग एक दूसरे के साथ मिलजुल कर एक दूसरे के फायदे के लिए काम करते हैं. तो इसी तरह से जो कार्य समाज करेगा, प्लेटो की नजर में वही न्याय है. But sir, there is an inherent difference between human being and society. So how Plato conceives this division, this perfect kind of harmonious division will be materialized? What is his idea? How will he categorize who are rulers, who are what you call reason, spirit and appetite? How does he describe all these, and how do we reach there in Plato's society?
Basically, this is one of the important bases actually. Anybody, how do we know? This is the very obvious question, comes immediately once we understand the Plato's theory that reason, spirit, appetite characteristics are there. The reason will be representing the governing class, at the same time spirit is the guardian class, and the appetite class will be the producers. So how do we, that is obviously, how do one know? How do we divide these things is very, very important things, and that is the basis for this entire theory of justice also. So when we look at this Plato's theory, to understand this Plato's theory of justice, we have to go into the details of the Plato's theory of education also. So through an education, actually the scheme of education, he divides into the three categories, this reason, spirit, appetite category. So on the initial stage, actually the primary education he talks about, this primary education will be given to each and everybody without having any discrimination, male and female, there is no discrimination. A state controlled compulsory education for both the sexes will be given actually the things. So each and every person, each and every individual without having any discrimination will go to the state controlled and state education system. There they will be actually trained and given the education. So basically here Plato has very much influenced by the Spartan system of education, where at the age of 7, actually all the children will be taken to the things. There they will be given the military education. The Spartan education system in those days actually they have given so much of importance to the military education and physical development. So in this circumstances, due to this influence, actually Plato says the same thing, that all the people will be, they will be doing going to the school and getting the education. So 10 years around when the 10th year comes, all the people will be taken to the schools, and up to 20 years they will be trained in almost all the fundamentals of the human knowledge, like the mathematics, gymnastics, at the same time physical education, music. All these fundamental things will be taught in these 10 years, especially at the age of 18 to 20 years. They will be giving little bit of importance to the military training or physical development, gymnastics kind of things. So here what happens is that after giving a complete education, a kind of all the fundamental human branches will be introduced to this every child without having any discrimination of even including for the male and female. So at the age of 20 there will be a kind of a screening test Plato calls it as a elimination test or the great elimination test. For our understanding purpose, I am using it as a word screening test. So at the age of 20, actually what happens, there will be a screening test. So that we call first screening test. So in this first screening test, those who are clearing, those who are pass this first elimination test, great elimination test, they will be going to the further level of education actually. So those who have failed in this first elimination test, they constitute the appetite class. So Plato conceives that those who are representing this as this appetite class quality, those who did not clear this elimination test will be constituting the appetite class. They all will be assigned the economic activities of the society. Like they will be the farmers, they will be the workers in the factory, they will be the artisans. They all will be doing these production activities in the society. So those who have completed this first elimination test, they will be going for the higher level of education, higher education. So from 20 to 30 years, again there will be a rigorous training in military. Training is also given so much of importance. Apart from that, all the higher levels like mathematics will be given importance. All this system of things will be taught to them. So at the age of 30, actually what happens, there is another great elimination test will be there. The second level elimination test will be, they will be facing the things. This is not as simple as like first level things. It is further very much critical, at the same time very much a highly difficult test will be there at the age of 30. Those who have come after completion of another 10 years of education, then this entire, the people, those who have cleared this first level elimination test will be going for the second level elimination test, that is the great second elimination test. So those who have cleared this elimination, this passed, or those who have cleared the second level elimination test also, they will be going to the further higher education. Those who could not able to complete, those who have failed in the second elimination test, they will be considered as a region class. They are representing the region. They will be considered as a guardian class. They will be undertaken, they will be assigned the this guardian activities are nothing but the soldiers. They are the soldiers. They are the guardian class into the entire society. So they constitute the soldiers. But those who are the lucky people, the very small remnants, the small sections who have cleared the second elimination test also, they will be going to the further education of 5 years. So 30 to 35, they will be going further 5 years of education. So it is a very long scheme that Plato describes for deciding for the people's qualities, actually the characteristics, who will be representing, what are their functions, the things. So at the age of 35 also, even this education system will not be complete. There will not be a complete. Even at the age of 35, they will be all these, the people, those the lucky few who are completed this 2 levels of elimination test, actually cleared the 2 levels of elimination test. So they will be given 15 years of practical training. So they will go for further training. There will be the further practical training, the modern apprenticeship kind of thing. They will be learning each and everything in the governance, and they will be pursuing the philosophical pursuit, and they will be free from the sense perception in this rigorous training period. So at the age of 50 only, actually they will be considered as the philosophers, or they are now having that quality of the reason, though they are representing the quality of the reason. So these people, after the rigorous education system at the age of 50, they constitute the ruling class, the governing class. They are very, very small in number. They represent the reason. So because the reason is one of the important thing, actually the rational thinking is one of the important, as Plato believes that, thinks that the people who knows the art of ruling must rule. The philosopher must rule. The philosophers must become the rulers, or the rulers must become the philosophers. Then only there will be a way out from all these problems of the society actually. So that is the Plato's conception. So for that purpose, the philosopher rule, to constitute the philosopher's rule, to bring the philosopher's rule, actually Plato talks about this a wonderful education system without having any discrimination. So at the age of 50, they will directly take the ruling things. the activity of the ruling. They are the reason. So they are free from the sense perception. So they start ruling the things. Then there will be a way out from all the problems of the society. So they can deal anything and everything because of this rigorous training and everything. So like that, actually, through this system of education, Plato discusses about this, divides the society into these three characteristics. One is that the reason, the spirit, appetite. So these three classes, those who are failed at the first elimination test are the appetite class. Those who are failed, could not go to the further level, the second elimination test, they are the reason. They represent the reason. Those who have cleared the second elimination test and got the further 5 years of education and 15 years of practical training in the governance, they will be considered as a people who will be constituting the region, actually representing the region. They are the ruling class. So that way, this ruling class will be ruling. At the same time, the guardian class will be they'll be protecting the country. And apart from that, this producing class will be doing all sorts of economic activities. The producing works, production works will be done by these things. So this is the way actually Plato conceived these things. So when this human organism, also the state or a societal organism also has to be very harmoniously organized. The people, those who are assigned the economic activities, they must follow only the economic activities. They cannot go to the higher, this guardian class. They cannot meddle with the other functions. So they are, whatever the station they are actually appointed, whatever the station their duties are assigned, they should do their works without interfering into others. Like the same thing, when these three classes, this guardian class and the producing class, they will be doing their duties. At the higher level, this governing class, the ruling class, the philosophers will be ruling, taking the direction, the legislative functions kind of thing in a modern way. So they will be doing. So that way, Plato sees an analogy between the human organism and state organism or the social organism. So as how the human organism is very harmoniously organized, each organ of the will be functioning their own functions without meddling into other functions. So that way, all these three classes should function in a harmonious manner. So then only there will be a way out from all the problems of the society. So this is the thing.
कहा जाता है कि प्लेटो अपने समाज की दशा से उस समय इतना दुखी थे कि वो कहते थे कि ये समाज तभी सही हो सकता है जब या तो दार्शनिक कोई हमारा राजा बन जाए या किसी चमत्कार से हमारे राजा जो है दार्शनिक बन जाए। तो प्लेटो के न्याय का सिद्धांत का आधार यही कथन है, हम कह सकते हैं, क्योंकि वो अपनी शिक्षा को इसका आधार बनाते हैं और शिक्षा को इस तरह प्रभावित, इस तरह लागू करने की बात करता है कि 20 साल की उम्र में एक परीक्षा होगी, जो उसमें सफल नहीं हो सका वो उत्पादक वर्ग बनेगा और वो आर्थिक गतिविधियों में भाग लेगा। उसके बाद 30 साल में उससे कठिन स्तर की एक परीक्षा होगी, उसमें जो सफल नहीं हो सके वो शिक्षार्थी ऑक्सिलरीज या सहायक वर्ग या गार्डियन क्लास जिसे हम कहा वो बनेंगे। और उसके बाद जो उसमें सफल हुए वो 5 साल की शिक्षा, लेकिन यहीं पर खत्म नहीं हो, 15 साल की व्यवहारिक, उसके बाद परीक्षण, उसके बाद उनका व्यवहारिक शिक्षा होगी, तब जाके वो 50 साल की उम्र में कहीं जाके एक दार्शनिक राजा बनेगा। जब ऐसा दार्शनिक राजा होगा और इस तरह से एक न्याय संगत तरीके से सभी को, स्त्री पुरुष सभी को यह शिक्षा का अधिकार प्राप्त था, न्याय संगत तरीके से शिक्षा सबको मिलेगी, तो तभी जो हार्मनी की बात कर रहे हैं, हम एक दूसरे के साथ मिलकर काम करने की बात कर रहे हैं, वो कर सकेंगे हमारे न्याय संगत समाज में, यानी कि प्लेटो के न्याय संगत समाज में। Sir, this is really very interesting because Plato's theories have been still used. So some of the criticisms are there, some meaningfulness is there. I think one of the use importance is gender equality in today's time, and then there is the idea of brotherhood. Anything, sir? Last 1 or 2 minutes you want to wind up?
There are so many values in this theory. We cannot actually take the Plato's theory of justice or education as it is in today's things. But at the same time, in those days itself, Plato is talking about the functional specialization, at the same time division of labor in present modern days context. The Plato also are talking about the universal education and state controlled education, which we are talking about in the modern society. In those days, 427 BC itself, in those days, he is giving the education to both the male and female, the universal education. He is the first gender specialist, we can say. He is the first feminist, we can say that. So that way Plato talks about these things. At the same time, there are so many disadvantages also, because we cannot judge the Plato from our point of time. In those days, whatever the Plato constituted actually conceived, actually it is a very highest thinking. At the same time, those are universal values like universal education for all male and female. At the same time, functional specialization, division of labor, non-interference into somebody's functions. So these are all, even the present day public administration and governance also we are looking. At the same time, the comparison between human analogy and social analogy is some kind of a false kind of thing. There are so many differences are there, but I think with this, I think we can conclude the things.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So from Plato, we understand that the harmony is not only important for justice in overall society, but for individual level as well. His theory of justice revolves around his work in the Republic, where he argues that within each class, a designated role will be assigned, and where each person, each individual will do only and exactly what he or she is supposed to do. And this is achieved by a just and proper means, so that no one is excluded, including gender, male, female. And his theory of education is not properly understood without his theory of education. Thank you very much, sir, and hope we'll catch you in next session in some of the wonderful ideas like Plato's theory of justice. Thank you.